Kami nakapantaran. Waradog ugpaanta, waradog pamitawan tato. Baboy, usa, warag panguran tat. Para ibakatas sa manggianak.
Panahon sa kasaysayan ay matagal nang may wars of extinction. Laban, hindi lamang laban sa mga lumad, kundi laban sa mga Pilipino. At tayo ay nananaig, tayo ay nananatili at hanggang ngayon narito tayo upang ilunsad ang aklat na ito. Nagpapasalamat ako sa aklat na ito at gustong-gusto ko siya na makatanggap ng libro dahil ang nakita ko pa lang ay mga pamagat ng mga kabanata. Subalit talagang ipinapangako ko, kung bibigyan mo ako, babasahin ko siya from cover to cover. So maraming salamat po at suportahan natin ang ganitong mga endeavors. Academic man ito, bagamat ang pakikipagtunggali ay nagaganap sa iba't ibang larangan, tayo ay nakakipagtunggali doon sa ating sariling larangan. So maraming salamat kay Arnold at sa inyong pagsuporta sa kanyang aklat.
Tinambak nais nila na ikaw ay mawasak.
Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Ang pagkakilala ko sa mga lumad ng Mindanao ay mga kapatid na marunong makipagkapwa, mapagbigay, magalang, naghahangad ng kapayapaan. Sila ang nagmulat sa amin nung kami tumira sa San Luis, Agusan de Sur, at ang aming pakikipamuhay sa kanila ay napakayaman. Nakita namin ang ugnay nila sa lupa at sa kalikasan. Sila ang nagpayaman sa amin sa kulturang Pilipino. Subalit sa mga habang panahon, inapi at pinagsamantalahan sila ng mga Panginoong may lupa, mga banyagang namumuhunan, at natuto silang lumaban upang ipagtanggol ang kanilang lupang ninuno at karapatang nabuhay. Kilala sila sa kanilang katapangan at sa pagtatanggol ng kanilang lahi. Sa ngayon, patuloy ang kanilang pakikibaka upang makamit ang tunay na kalayaan. Kilala natin ang kanilang karapatan at pangarap na mabuhay ng matiwasay at may seguridad. Kami, mga kasama nyo sa inyong pakikipaglaban. Ngayon, kami ay lubos na nagpapasalamat kay Mr. Arnold at P. Alamon sa pagsulat ng libro ito, Wars on the Extinction. Sana hindi naman matuloy yung extinction kasi patuloy silang lumalaban. Ito ay upang ilahad ang tunay na kasaysayan ng ating bayan at ng ating mga kapatid dito. Maraming salamat.
Sila'y inaaway, nakatalikod, ninakawan.
Magandang hapon, maraming salamat, Chow. Welcome po sa Panmahon, no? So 7. Nagpapasalamat kami sa lahat ng mga dumalo. Nagpapasalamat kami sa RMP, no? Nung kami ay sinabihan na magbo-book launch dito, na bahagi ng Lakbayan 2017, ay hindi kami nagatubili. Dahil sa tingin namin ay napapanahon, no? At nararapat lamang na maglungsad at ipakalat yung ganitong klase ng mga aklat, ng ganitong klase ng mga pananaliksik sa mas malawak na publiko nang sa gayon ay magkaroon tayo ng kalinawan. Hindi nyo alam, si Arnold ay kabarkada ko, kaibigan at colleague ko sa Department of Sociology. sayang nga lang at umalis sa department, no? Nangihinayang ako dyan. Napakagaling, napaka-brilliant na tao yan, na sociologist. Kaya naman hindi ako nag-atubali na ako yung umasikaso sa kanyang book launching. Unahan pa nga ako nito eh. May 2 libro na, sipag. Di ba? 2. Ako nga, wala pa eh. So siya, nakagawa na. So talagang magaling.
Umalis ka ng UP.
Para marami akong free time. Ganun pala yun, no? So, susunod din ako sa Mindanao. Dahil nandun yung, nandun daw yung excitement sa Mindanao ngayon. Nandun yung struggle. Maraming salamat sa pagdalo, no?
Panguran ka, para ibakatas sa mga
na mag-operasyon sa Marawi at iwaldas ang buhay ng mga sundalo mo para sa pabuya. Hambugero ka! Kung makapag-utos na bubombahin ang Marawi, pero himod ka naman sa mga kano matapos ng bigyan ng mga baril at eroplano. May hina, maliliit at apilang ang kaya mo. Ginagamit mo ang kapangyarihan laban lang sa walang kakayahang lumaban sa'yo, pero bahag na bahag ang putok mo sa harap ng mas malaki. Mas marami pang ang nagawa ang mga progresibong mga grupo kaysa sa'yo para ipagtanggol ang patrimonya ng bansang ito. Baliw ka. Hindi mo na maloloko ang mga tao. Isinusukan ang kanan ng taong bayan. Tama na ang 1 taon ng mga pagpatay. Tama na ang 1 taong pagwasak. Ang sigaw ng bayan. Wakasan na ang basistang kabaliwan mo!
Sa aking pananaw o palagay, mayroong 3 katangian ang mga sulatin sa aklat na ito na dahilan kung bakit ipinalalagay ko na isa itong mahalagang sosyolohikal na akda o akdang sosyolohikal. Una, ang mga sulatin rito ay matalas na nagpapawalang bisa sa mga nakasanayan. Matapang na isinisiwalat ng mga sulatin ang kakulangan ng dominanteng naratibo ng pagkabansa. Halimbawa, sa nasasanaysay na Nation in Our Hearts sa 2 bahagi, pinagkumpara ni Arnold ang bansang kinakatawan ng SONA ni dating Pangulong Noynoy sa mga uri ng kabansaang hindi na isasali doon sa partikular SONA na yon. Ipinakita niya ang mga alternatibong naratibo, naratibo ng kahirapan at hindi karangyaan, naratibo ng mga katutubong pagpapahalaga sa lupa at hindi pagpapahalaga at pagsunggab sa kabangbayan, naratibo ng mga magsasakang matagal nang nakikibaka para sa sariling bukid at hindi naratibo ng mga Panginoong may lupa na kumakamkam ng lupa. Tulad ng sanaysay na ito, ang iba pang sanaysay sa aklat ni Arnold ay matalas na nagsisiwalat sa baho ng lipunan. Ngunit ang pagsisiwalat niya ay hindi sa tono ng paninisi, kung hindi sa mas kritikal na tono na humuhukay sa sistemang pinagmulan ng kawalan ng pagkakapantay-pantay. Ikalawa, ang mga sulatin sa aklat na ito ni Arnold ay mapagnilay. May katamtamang kababaang loob, may kababaang loob ang pagkakasulat ng mga sanaysay na kumikilala sa kahinaan ng manunulat, ngunit kumikilala rin sa kanyang kalakasan bilang bahagi ng isang mas malawak at kolektibong pagkilos para sa panlipunang pagbabago. Halimbawa, ang unang sanaysay sa libro na may pamagat na Building an Audience, ikinuwento ni Arnold ang kanyang interaksyon sa isang mag-aaral na matapang siyang tinanong ukol sa pasya niyang magsulat sa wikang Panyaga. Mahalaga ang punto ng mag-aaral na kung nais mong abutin ng mambabasa, dapat lamang na sumulat ka sa wika nila. Tumugon si Arnold dito hindi sa pamamagitan ng pagbabago ng kanyang wika na ginagamit sa pagsusulat. Ang kanyang tugon ay payak ngunit matalas. Ang isang manunulat tulad niya ay hindi nag-iisa. Siya ay bahagi katulad nating lahat ng isang mas kolektibong pagkilos para sa pagbabago. Kailangan nating tingnan ang ating mga gawain hindi bilang isang salbasyon mula sa isang mesiyas, kung hindi bilang isang bahagi ng mas malawak at kolektibong pagkilos. Bilang isang dugong sosyologo, nauunawaan ni Arnold ang kahalagahan ng ganitong klase ng pagninilay o what in sociology we call it reflexivity. Ikatlo at pinakamahalaga sa lahat, ang mga sanaysay rito ay laging nagtatapos sa isang panawagan para sa mas malalim na pagtatanong. Bilang sosyologo, alam ni Arnold na mahalaga ang pagtatanong para gumulong ang tunay na pagbabago. Mahalaga ang gampanin ng sosyolohiya sa panlipunang pagbabago na pinagugulong ng epektibo at kritikal na pagtatanong sa kasalukuyang kalagayan ng lipunan. Isa ang disiplina ng sosyolohiya kasama ang iba pang kapatid niya sa araling panlipunan o sa pag-agang panlipunan sa ilang larangan na nagtuturo sa mga miyembro ng lipunan na lawakan ang kanilang pananaw sa sa pag-unawa ng sarili at kapwa. Ang pag-unawang ito ay magiging daan upang kritikal na mapagnilayan ng tao ang kanyang kalagayan. Ito rin ay magbubukas ng maraming mahalagang tanong na hindi natin kalimitan hinaharap. Ang mga sanaysay sa aklat na ito ay matapang na nagbubukas ng mga tanong na kailangan nating harapin bilang isang bansa upang gumulong ang isang tunay na pagbabago. Halimbawa, tinapos ni Arnold ang huling sanaysay sa akdang ito sa mga katagang ito. Of course, I translated it in Tagalog. Tulad ng mga ampon na palutang-lutang sa itim na karagatan ng kalawakan habang naghahanap ng mga kasagutan, tumitingala tayo sa mga bituin at lumilikha ng mga bokabularyo. Ang kasagutan ay nananatiling nakatago sa likod ng mga bituin. At bilang huling pananalita o paglalagom, nais kong iwanan ang isang kataga na winika ni Abdul Kalam. And I think this is very important. If a country is to be corruption-free and become a nation of beautiful minds, I strongly feel that there are three key societal members who can make a difference. The mother, the father, and most importantly for all of us, or for many of us here, the teacher. Thank you very much.
Thank you po, Professor Nailista. Ngayon naman, para...
I'm so proud na ako ang magre-review doon sa book ng aking kaibigan at comrade sa struggle, not only for Mindanao but for the entire nation. Okay, so English to, sorry. Dapat pala Filipino din. So, Wars of Extinction, Discrimination, and the Lumad Struggle in Mindanao. In an age where postmodern cultural pluralism is the dominant research program in the academe, where postcolonial theory celebrates the subaltern voices against Western narratives in development discourse, Professor Alamon's book is a timely intervention that sociologically peeps through the problem of the Lumad and the right to self-determination without falling into cultural idealism or the tendency to prioritize cultural analysis at the expense of political economy. Romanticization of Lumad in their pristine condition, that is, making the Lumad culture as something like an exotic showcase and reducing discrimination to mere collateral damage of Western development. And this is the most dominant paradigm today in sociology of development. By showing how the Lumad were subjected to, and I quote, accumulation by dispossession, unquote, a term borrowed by the author from the Marxist geographer David Harvey, the author argues convincingly that rather than representing the Lumad, and I again quote, repositories of non-existent and idealized pre-modern cultural truth. Sa tingin ko, ito yung sakit ng mga academics. They go to the Lumad, they go to the Mindanao, because they want to look into the existent and idealized pre-modern cultural truth. But according to the author, the Lumad are the showcase of the economic and political violence of global capital made possible through facilitation of their local agents. Unquote, on page 179. By demystifying the essentializing romantic truth about the Lumad, which depicts them as, and I quote, innocent and naive, unquote, Professor Alamon reposted his own materialist alternative by arguing that the term Lumad appropriated by the indigenous non-Muslim tribes of Mindanao in 1986 after a conference, refers to the collective struggle of the people, and I like to quote the author, to keep their way of life, which is inextricably linked to their ownership and control over their land and resources, unquote, page 194. The author challenges the postmodern appropriation of the Lumad as a cultural icon whose otherness deconstructs the Eurocentrism by arguing that, and this is, I think, the best thesis, this summarizes the entire point, that the Lumad problem is first and foremost a class position, unquote, page 207. And I think I will agree very much with Professor Alamon. By ensconcing his analysis within the historical narrative of Spanish colonialism and American imperialism, the author is able to provide an excellent analysis that situates the Lumad problem within the framework of structural discrimination that is rooted in the long historical oppression and exploitation of colonialism and feudal linkages of the ruling class and the elites of the nation to the larger global business and imperialist interests. That is why I would recommend that if you read this one, you should also buy this one. Because the Lumad problem is a problem of nation building and nation formation. So, hindi mo siya pwedeng i-isolate. No? Okay na, binibenta na kita. The author defends, and I quote, the indigenous notions of development, page 169, unquote, that recognizes collective ownership of the land and resources without grounding this purely to cultural explanation. In fact, many sociologists would like to go to do a field work sa Mindanao in order to look and study yung kanilang cultural practices and way of life. Then they will use that as a foil to critique Western development, European Eurocentrism, modernization, ayan. But according to the author, this pre-capitalist mode of production enabled, for instance, the Banwaon, a sub-tribe of Higanaon, for instance, to resist development aggression of mining companies, laging concessionaires, and big plantation businesses. Pag binasa niyo po yan, maintindihan niyo bakit may lakbayan. This mode of cultural existence enabled their leaders to say, and I would like to quote the leader, quoted also by the author, and I quote, the Banwaon have achieved an understanding that we as a people can survive without you, unquote, page 172. The author, however, depicts the Lumad community, an imagined community, not as a seamless organic whole, like functionalism in sociology and anthropology, but as a fractured community arising from the cultural invasion and state-sponsored terrorism perpetrated against them, page 204. Exposed to the continuing struggle, to the local communist struggle, the New People's Army, the Lumad struggle today goes beyond mere postmodern slogan of the right to narrate. Yan po ang bukang bibig ng mga academics. That the problem of Lumad is simply they want to narrate their stories. And then, pa-follow up ng mga scholars yan by saying that the otherness of the Lumad, actually ito yung argument ni Sir Alamon, no? The otherness, the being different, the difference of Lumad has nothing to do with their being different as global capitalism penetrates the remaining non-commodified territories around the globe, especially Mindanao. The author rightly argues that, and I would like to quote again, their otherness originates from the fact that they are global capitalism's most marginalized contemporary victims, unquote, page 216. The Lumad are now struggling for the right to self-determination and are fighting back to gain their ancestral domains plundered by local big compradors and imperialist businesses, page 205. Hence, the attacks against the Lumad communities perpetrated by the state repressive apparatuses, especially the military and paramilitary, had escalated, forcing them to evacuate and stage the historic Manilakbayan way back to 2015. In the end, the author pleads for the continuing and renewing the dialogue with the Lumad and other national minorities, not so much to celebrate cultural differences, parang alam museum and malapiesta na history day, that feeds the fantasy of bourgeois nationalism, but instead to find commonalities as ground for human emancipation against the tyranny of the market and imperialism seeking to commodify the Lumad culture and plunder and loot their resources. I would like to forewarn the readers a caveat, warning sign. This book is written by a sociologist who minces no words about objectivity and partisan scholarship. If you are looking for an objective assessment or neutral, politically detached analysis, please don't read the book. It is written specifically as a public sociology. Wow, rare yan, ha? Because most sociologists really write their research not for the people who are affected by development, but simply for conferences, so that they could self-congratulate each other. But this is not it, no? Hindi to ganito. Hindi to ganito. It is written in popular style. So hindi kayo mahirapang magbasa. To contribute in the emancipation of the Lumad. It is neither an apology for the betrayal of the Lumad development by the government, nor an attempt to whitewash the violence of colonialism and imperialist aggression against the people of Mindanao. The author may be accused. Ayan, sabi niyo, wala akong critique, no? Meron. The author may be accused of one-sided focus on political economy of Lumad problem at the expense of culture. But his critics, I am very sure, will also have to endure the same criticism, that they only emphasize one-sided analysis of culture and the reduction of the Lumad problem for the plea for respect and liberal tolerance. Yan ang dominant eh. Tolerate lang natin sila, let them be, hands off, laissez-faire, etc. para actually gusto pang i-preserve. Rather, the author invites us to integrate and immerse in Lumad communities. Kaya po, ayan, no, may pagkakataon pa tayo hanggang 22. Pumunta tayo sa may Stud Farm UP to immerse. Sila na nga pumunta eh. Oo, hindi na kayo mamamasahe papuntang Mindanao. So we can learn, and I would like to quote, very interesting yung sinabi ng author, the most fearsome model of resistance. Wow, sila pala yung kala ko katipunan. Sila pala, no? Most fearsome model of resistance against imperialism's past and continuing onslaught. Unquote on page 223. Okay, as a sociologist and as a chair of Congress of Teachers, Educators for Nationalism and Democracy, Content UP, I highly recommend this book for academics, for my fellow faculty and non-academics who are tired of perusing through the convoluted writings. Di ba, nahilig kayo mag-book review. At pag nagbabasa kayo, ano ba ito? Hindi ko maintindihan. Puro jargons. Peppered with Derridean, Deleuzian, post-structuralist jargons of contemporary writers about subalternity and otherness. Such writings, na ang dami sa library, leave so much to be desired in understanding the current plight of the Lumad. And I warn you, those who do not want to struggle with the Lumad, don't read this book. You might be converted. But to the bold readers, sabi nga ni Mao, dare to struggle, dare to win. Ayan, so congratulations kay Arnold. Congratulations, maganda yung book. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay ka, Arnold.
Ngayon naman, pakinggan natin. Bago tayo pumunta sa author, tatawagan ko lang anak ng ng pangunahing kung kanino dinededicate ni Arnold itong libro na ito para magbigay ng kaunting pananalita tungkol sa ating book launch, si Miss Eileen Anglao.
Introduce ko lang si Irene. Si Irene ikaw ba yung eldest na anak ni Tatay Renz? Si Tatay Renz, isang komunidad sa Putong, Quezon, ay pinuntahan namin ng mga estudyante ko at doon kami nakipamuhay ng isang linggo. March yun, no? Ang mga nag-alaga sa amin ay yung tatay niya, si Tatay Renato Anglao. Isang araw sa Cagayan de Oro, February 7, birthday ng kapatid ko. No? Nakabasa ako ng isang text. Yung tatay niya ay inambush sa February 3, inambush sa kanto ng highway ng Quezon at Marama. At masakit yun para sa akin personally dahil malaki yung paghanga ko dun sa tatay niya. Dahil yung tatay niya, kumbaga doon makikita yung pag-asa ng bayan. Lumad, hindi nakapag-aral, pero kung ibahagi yung kasaysayan ng ating bayan, yung kanilang pakikibaka bilang mga lumad, ay talagang mapabibilib ka at sabihin mo na may pag-asa pa pala yung bayan ito. Dahil hindi sila natatakot, hindi sila natitingnan. Hanggang sa isang umaga ay inambush kasama ng nanay niya at kapatid niya maliit. Natumba sa motor, sa ulo, tinamaan. Dahil yung mga kalaban nila, yung mga landlord at politiko sa probinsya ngayon, at inaagaw yung lupang ninuno nila, yung lupang kabilin yung tawag. Ngayon, nauna na sa program, pero it doesn't matter, para mabigyan din ng halaga siguro yung pagkakataong ito. Yung librong iyan, yung pula, ito po, yung nilo-launch natin, Wars of Extinction, ay inaalay natin sa memory na ni Tatay Renato, Tatay Renz ang tawag namin, Tatay Renato Anglao. At ibibigay ko na yung kopyang ito kay Irene. Irene, mabuhay ka, mabuhay ang alaala ng tatay mo, at padayon ta sa atong pakikpiso, di ba? Maraming salamat. Pwede ka magsalita ng saglit?
Sige, magandang hapon sa lahat. Maraming salamat, Sir Arnold, na isa sa naibahagi niya ang kasaysayan ng aking ama, tapos sa lahat ng nagsuporta, sa nagmamahal, at sa lahat-lahat na yung nalalaman kung ano yung kasaysayan ng ating Pilipinas. At sa lahat po, especially sa RNP, yung lahat na mga yung mga hosted sa launching niya ngayong hapon, maraming salamat. At sir, maraming salamat po. Thank you.
At minerales, kumikina.
Sino ba yung nalilito? Okay, mga friends from way back, nakahabol kayo, salamat. At mga kaibigan mula sa Mindanao din at sa RMT. No? Una-una, bago ko gawin to all about myself, it's the danger sa mga occasions like this. No? Gusto ko nang klaruhin, Carl, pag-usapan natin to na itong libro na to ay isang collective effort. No? In fact, ang ginawa lang natin dito is to document kung ano yung nasa labas ng universidad at ibigyang pagkakataon yung platform na meron tayong bokabularyo natin para maihayag kung ano yung nangyayari sa labas. No? So this is a collective effort by different people and different groups. And what binds them together is that they're part of a movement. Lumad man yan, estudyante man yan, teacher man yan. So I might be the author here, pero really what I am channeling ay isang mahabang kasaysayan ng isang kilusan. This is actually our book. So salamat Andoy for pointing that out. No? Because that's really the problem about tendency of the academic ego to really, act like a black hole and then claim everything as their own. But this time around, parang in a way, it also tells you about my own personal story. Coming from UP and then going to Mindanao, what I'm actually doing here, and I'm going to say it again later, is that para akong yung member ng pamilya niyo na umalis, and then bumalik na may dalang pasalubong, yung pasalubong ko itong dalawang libro. No? Para sa inyo na mga kaibigan ko, as I go along. So this is the third book launch actually for these two books. No? There will be another one during the Philippine Geological Society conference in Cebu, and another if plans push through during the UGAT conference in Cagayan de Oro next month, that's October. These books, in other words, have traveled from Manila and Davao, where they were first printed, then to Cagayan de Oro and Iligan, where they were launched, and now here in Manila. They will journey back to Cagayan de Oro and then Cebu soon. So the journey that these books took to get here actually also follows the journey of the author, although the pattern is reversed. No? Galing Mindanao papunta dito, ako naman dati, galing dito papunta ng Mindanao. And the adventure started here within these halls actually, where Dr. Nanette Dungo, sayang no, wala siya dito, teaching Marx in Soksay 1, convinced a first-year BA Psych major with student number 9332908 to shift to sociology. Since then, way back 1993, I never left the university for almost the next 2 decades. I mean UP, from student to faculty to one of those hangers-on who stayed within its margins. No? Yung mga pakalat-kalat sa campus, parakit-rakit. Until finally, the romantic attachment with UP or to UP withered. And I found myself a new, wala pa si Bomen, pero may term siya dito na German, Heimat. Ayun, somebody read your foreword in the launching in Cagayan de Oro. She skipped this word dahil hindi niya maintindihan, hindi niya ma-pronounce. But Heimat is a German word meaning your community, no, where you find your sense of identity. So UP used to be that place for me. No, I didn't imagine to be anywhere else ever since I was a student. Until I thought that I would grow old here. No, but all of that changed, of course. And now I find myself in my birthplace of Mindanao, where I teach and do something that I've learned to love while being here in UP, sociology. This time at the Mindanao State University Legal Institute of Technology. And I have to mention here, given that this is AS, Palma Hall, Dean Consuelo Paz, no? And Ma'am Chin Zayas of what used to be the Inisyatibo sa Pag-aaral ng Etnolinguistikong Grupo sa Pilipinas. Imagine I was a undergrad student, 16, 17 years old, and IPEG, because of their funding, allowed for student researchers like me, but strictly really SA, to go into field work in Batanes. That was the first field work I did, and which introduced me to the passion and to the necessity of going outside of the university in order to know what is there. And then way back in 1997, I was entering into 4th year, about to do my thesis in sociology. IPEC sent me to Kapalong, Davao del Norte as a 17-year-old undergrad. And there I was amongst the Ata Mandaya tribe of Kapalong, Davao del Norte, mga Lumad. Who would have thought that decades later that would be my advocacy, no? From those, and all of that came from my roots here in CSSP, no? KSSP pa yan dati, di ba? And then because of my work in IPEC, that's where the passion and drive for field work was instilled in me, no? I will not belabor the twists and turns, and although Xiao mentioned this, of course, a while ago, and the pains of this journey, of the circumstances of the departures and returns. We're all but thrown this way and that, not by the unseen anarchic hand of the market, but by violent social forces and their agents that constantly ask us to choose which side to stand from. Should we call it contingency? No. And I would call it a case of the larger structural realities providing the proper context for a young man to learn of Marx, Nietzsche, Foucault, Rorty, and then Empeño and Cadapan in that proper order here in Diliman. But having left its portals, have also learned a great many stories from new friends and acquaintances outside of UP. So, this is the case of the prodigal son, returning and bearing many gifts. You can regard these books as my pasalubong, and they contain stories about new adventures undertaken and new worlds seen, all documented in these two books. May matching sound effects pa ako for this afternoon. I've managed to distill the lessons culled from these new encounters with a column published in 2014, and I offer them to you this afternoon to consider. And maybe Andoy were able to read this, no? The article's title is The Promise, circa 2014, a presumptuous reference to C. Wright Mill's own landmark, and I apologize for that. Now, I'm trying to talk here about where sociology should be headed. The following have been the distinctions among the practitioners of the discipline, and I mean sociology, and in general, the social sciences. There are those who worship power. There are some who want to avoid it altogether, and yet there are a few who aim to harness it. First, there are those who accept the operations of power as givens, and choose not to combat it for a myriad of reasons. For them, the present order is an arrangement that must be worshipped and accepted. They fear the alternative, for it may lead to disarray and anomy, aside from dislodging them from their positions of comfort. So, they work with those in the top echelons of society to maintain the present system. They seek to be power brokers in society, and through their astuteness, gain access to the ears of the powers that be, not to initiate change, but to maintain the present disposition. The who? Number two, there are also those who fear power, fooled by the illusion that they can escape it or wish its effects away. They justify their fears in many ways. They fear science, for they look at the difficult and tricky path of human progress and see the horrors that led to the Holocaust, the purges, and environmental decay. They claim that it is everywhere, in knowledge, in prisons, in the air we breathe, so that they lay still in the gilded cages of academia, foaming on their mouths new esoteric languages that describe one and the same thing, their imprisonment. They remain there, immobilized and speaking in tongues, doubting even if it is the case that they are unfree. And yet there are a few who understand that human, or that power, is a human artifact, that it's been wielded by men of a particular class for their gain across human history, and that their control must be undone for the liberation of one and all with finality now. They also know that there have been mistakes, but instead of falling into the temptations of opportunism or going into Twitter or the trap of undecidability, these people have soldiered on to harness power, understand its logic, and continue to wield for its emancipatory promise. In this debate, there is no middle ground, as some would like to assert. Power is not plural, and it serves a singular master. Either it serves to maintain the morbid stagnation of the present, under the reign of feudal demigods and their intellectual sorcerers, or usher in the society of the future through a social movement. Decades ago, the discipline enamored us with its promise of collective emancipatory potential. But in a strange twist of nomenclature, it has also succeeded to create a wedge between us and others. Autonomy and freedom were spoken of, not in terms of shared ideals, but in a cynical appreciation of the role of structure, pitted against individual agency. It is time to salvage the unmet promise of sociology and the social sciences, from those who worship power and those who fear it. The future of the discipline lay on those who bravely harness power and use it for change, and I unquote. The book Wars of Extinction, I believe, is an attempt to live out this kind of sociology, drawing inspiration from the Lumad Struggle of Mindanao. It is not a story written by sociologists, but a story that they themselves have written with their struggle, which was properly or merely properly documented and made sense of through the vocabulary of a sociologist. I am not sure if this is still sociology in the eyes of my colleagues here from UP Diliman, but what I am sure of is that this is the kind of sociology that we need nowadays. One does not flinch from contradiction, but rather investigates it and takes sides. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Sapat sa taong bayan. Mindanao.
sundalo-undang kakampus sa salungan. Dia sebarai temapukuk kakampus. Kau nagkopian naghimuan sa para kasalungan.
Mga berdugo dito tinambak nais nila na ikaw ay mawasak. Mga sakim na bighani naglalaway sa yaman mong taglay. Ang angkin mong yaman, tribo anak pawis na palaban, magiting na kasaysayan, sambayanan.